So hello and welcome to P&O's Azura cruise ship. I recently spent a week aboard the ship, bobbing around the Canary Islands with a side dash to Madeira. And I had a great time, even if I had a few reasons to be critical of P&O's offering. Check out this video in which I review the experience. It was fantastic to be back at sea after long months toughing it out through a British winter. The Azura's maiden voyage was in 2010, but design work on her would have started several years earlier, so the ship we experienced reflected P&O's thoughts and ambitions from perhaps 16 or 17 years ago. I understand the ship was due a major refit in 2020, which was obviously postponed because of the you-know-what. As of March 2023, when I sailed on her, no substantial refurb had been done, and I'm not aware of a date when it will be. So hopefully when you sail on her, those upgrades will have been completed, and this video will be a time capsule of what she used to look like. If not, here's what she looks like. She's 115,000 tonnes in gross weight, which is big but not enormous, less than half the weight of Royal Caribbean's biggest monsters, with a capacity of just over 3,000 passengers, with a couple of hundred more possible if everyone brought a kid with them. This video will be my attempt to make a ship tour video that is actually interesting, hence presenting that tour in a day in the life format. So if you'd like to see what she's like, stick around.
Hi, I'm Matt and I love cruising. I love the ships, the places you visit, the entertainment, and every now and again I'll also enjoy a drink. So subscribe and you might pick up some hacks, hints and tips to make your next cruise better.
Wakey wakey, your day will start in your cabin. Check out this video for a detailed review of my cabin. You're awake, so you'll probably be hungry, and it's time for breakfast. As usual, let's pretend it's a sea day, so you have no port outside to rush off to enjoy. Breakfast options will include room service, although you're best to have anticipated that before going to bed, so you can order it for delivery in the morning. The main dining room will be open, but most people head for the buffet, which isn't a highlight on the Azura. It's split into two wings, neither of which is spacious, and it can be a bit of a scrum. The food was good, but the range on offer was a little narrow. On the last day of my cruise, I overheard that it was possible to custom order omelettes and the like, although it wasn't advertised and I didn't see how you'd do so myself. Visits to the buffet may not prove to be the highlights of your cruise, but they will keep you going until lunchtime. After breakfast, you might choose to explore the ship. As you'd expect, there's a range of public areas and shops to enjoy, and those shops may actually be open if it's a sea day. There's a photo centre. Credit to P&O here, as you don't have a camera shoved up your nose at every turn. You actually need to volunteer to be snapped, which is the way it really should be. And of course an art gallery, albeit one that actually has some interesting art in it. You can then perhaps enjoy a Costa coffee from the lobby bar, which is included in the drinks package. You can dispute spurious charges on your account at the reception desk, or perhaps pick up a newspaper, something they produce daily, which I believe is unique to P&O. The daily cruise planners are also printed in colour, which is also a first for me. Perhaps you want to start planning your next cruise experience, if this one hasn't put you off P&O forever. Or pick up something to read in the library, which was the best stocked library I've ever found on a ship. Some quite new publications were available. If guilt strikes over the 10-egg omelette you may have been able to order yourself for breakfast, then perhaps head for the gym. I'm by no means an expert, but it looked well equipped to me. Or get yourself some pampering in the spa. Before you know it, it'll be lunchtime. The buffet will once again offer temptations to the non-claustro or agrophobic. The main dining room was also open for lunch, even on port days. Another option is the poolside grill, which offers some good snack options, provided they're burgers and hot dogs. They could provision a gluten-free veggie burger though, if that's your thing. I know this, as I was in the queue behind the person ordering it. Now it's afternoon, so perhaps it's time to flop out next to one of Azura's 4 pools, all of which are open air. There's no solarium, which is significant if cruising in cooler weather. There's a flashback to a different design era in that the main coral pool is really deep. Health and safety committees don't allow them to be that deep these days. Some fun entertainment is offered around the coral pool in the afternoons, and there are a couple of jacuzzis too, which were spectacularly unpopular on our cruise for some reason, so were frequently free. The aqua pool is close by, where entertainment is provided via a large screen. At the rear of the ship is the terrace pool, which is surrounded by a pretty nice amphitheatre with some smaller plunge pools above the main pool. And finally, there's the Oasis pool, which is quite hard to find, although it can be most easily accessed from the Oasis Spa. Another amphitheatre arrangement by that pool too. There's plenty of open deck space for sun loungers, but I will note that with 90% occupancy on our cruise, it was tricky to find a free lounger if you do leave it to the afternoon before making camp. Unless you're in one of the premium cabins, in which case you'll have access to the retreat area. The Oasis pool is the only one without a dedicated bar, as it'll certainly be time for a cheeky one by now. The coral pool has the coral bar. The aqua pool has the aqua bar, and the terrace pool has, yes, you guessed it, the Bob Paisley Memorial Bar. Only joking, it's called the Terrace Bar. And if all of that is far too predictable, the Breakers Bar is one deck up from the coral pool, and it also is the place to go if you need to have a smoke. If you can't get a lounger, there are some more sporty options such as shuffleboard, table tennis, there's a golf driving net and a basketball court. As the day progresses, it's time to put on the glad rags for the evening, and twice on our 7-night cruise, those glad rags were requested to be black tie. It's not obligatory by any means, but on those nights a handful of venues were reserved for those participating in the penguin-suited fun. A smart suit and tie seems to work if you didn't want to take the full tuxedo option. Options for pre-dinner drinks included the Blue Bar and my favourite venue, the Planet Bar. It was quite hard to find and to get to, which meant it was usually quiet in there. Friendly staff too. Otherwise there's the Malabar or the Manhattan. Both bars, but also venues for entertainment through the evening. The Azura has a venue called Brody's, which it describes as a pub, although as with all cruise ships, the floor was nowhere near sticky enough. It did have a decent range of beers on draft, which is not common at sea, plus some games options, and on one side is the casino. By far the smallest casino I've ever seen on a ship, and as the cruise involved lots of port time when the casino couldn't operate, including an overnight stay, I don't think I ever went there and it was actually open. Dinner once again offers 3 options: the buffet, speciality venues and the main dining room. There are actually 3 main dining rooms. The near identical Meridian and Peninsula rooms offer freestyle dining and that you turn up and eat when you want. The Oriental room offered the more traditional 2 fixed time sittings. We had taken the freestyle option, which worked really well, and it was fun to learn that P&O once again prefers you to share a table with other travel groups. Taking that option allowed us to be seated immediately on arrival every night, but if you wanted a private table, that was also possible, although there was often a lengthy wait. There are 4 speciality restaurants available for a supplement over the base fare already paid, none of which we visited, and 3 of which I didn't manage to film. Bad YouTuber! I did capture some footage of the Indian concept called Sindhu, but the Epicurean offered British fare, the Glass House was a wine-led concept curated by Ollie Smith, and the Beach House is an American-inspired venue which uses the word hearty and comfort to describe its food. After dinner it may well be time for some entertainment. The main theatre offered 2 nightly shows on 6 nights of our cruise, a mix of headline performers and production shows from the ship's cast. Between the 2 shows there's around 1,600 seats for the perhaps 3,000 passengers aboard, so my advice is to get there early. There's no drink service inside the theatre, but they were happy for you to take a glass in with you. As mentioned, the Malabar and Manhattan venues also offered entertainment in the evenings and also got pretty busy. And there was occasional entertainment up on deck, only occasional though, as the evening weather wasn't always brilliant. And finally, as there was a mature crowd aboard, dancing was offered each evening in the atrium. Dance classes were also offered during the day if you wanted to brush up on your alpine stroll before showing it off at the evening session. I think this was an alpine stroll, but I'm happy to be corrected by anyone more knowledgeable than me in the comments. And late night dancing was offered back in the Manhattan bar. So thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. Give the video a like if you did. Please consider subscribing if you're new. Plenty more stuff like this already on the channel with more coming. Please leave me a comment, was that an alpine stroll? And if you'd like to support what I'm doing more directly, there is a Patreon account, the link to which is in the description below. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.